The Christmas season and all of its sweetness is officially in full swing, and I invite you to join me here in our little cottage as we celebrate before I take a little break here on my channel to really slow down, savor, and soak in this Christmas season with my family. Now, to be totally honest with you, the last several Christmases, I feel like I have definitely struggled with the holiday hustle, just taking on too many things, trying to do more things that I really have time for, and just stressing myself out unnecessarily, which really just robs some of the magic of the Christmas season. And to be fair, 2 out of the last 4 Christmases, not only was I super pregnant, but we also moved on top of that. So we moved twice. So it's been a little crazy the last several years, and I am just really excited this year to be settled into our home, to be feeling like myself, having more energy to do the things that we'd like to do. And I'm just really looking forward to it. But I'm also simultaneously trying to slow down, to do a little less, and to really allow myself to enjoy and savor this very short season that has so much beauty to offer, and I feel like we can totally miss it and just let us pass it by if we just get too, no pun intended, wrapped up in all the things we're trying to do to create the magic. And really, this season of Advent is supposed to be a time of slowing down, of quiet, of, anticipation, and really just looking forward to what is coming. And I'm really trying so hard to embody that this year. I'm sure all of my fellow moms totally get it, trying to create that magic for your kids, which is such a fun and honorable thing to do. But we can be a little hard on ourselves, and we can almost take it a little too far. So I hope you'll join me in trying to slow down this year and actually really enjoy it, because it's such a special time of year. But even though I'm trying to slow down and do a little less, you betcha I still decorated my house. And I was so excited to decorate this year because last year we were literally fresh off of a move and we're still basically unpacking when it was time to decorate for Christmas. So I was really excited this year to just go for it. But I take a more simple approach, I would say, to decorating my house. I love like maximalist Christmas decor, and I could get lost on Pinterest boards just looking at these beautiful images. That's actually my favorite way to decorate for Christmas. Just little Santas and Christmas trees and just little things stuffed into like every nook and cranny. I actually love that look, but that takes a lot of time, takes a lot of resources to collect or buy those things. So I am just certainly not there. That is just not my season of life. So I take a little bit more of a simple approach. And I've learned that I love garlands and I love bows because they are simple and they just pretty much immediately add a beautiful festive touch to anything you add them to. So as far as garlands go, last year I decided that every year I was going to invest in a couple of really nice faux garlands that I would have for many, many, many years to come instead of buying them fresh every year. And they make such beautiful ones nowadays that really do look real. The ones on my mantles, yesterday my mom came over and asked me, "Where'd you get that? Is that real?" I said, "No, it's actually fake. Can you believe it?" And she couldn't because it's just looks totally believably real. So that's something that I've been trying to slowly invest in. And one day my hope and dream is that my home will just be dripping in garland everywhere you look. But that's going to take some time to get there, and that's okay. But adding little touches of decor all throughout my house, just trying to bring that Christmas cheer, whether it's a little pop of red or some plaid or something that's knitted, like just all of those warm, cozy, festive textures and colors. That's always what I'm kind of aiming for when it comes to Christmas decor in my home. One really great way to achieve that is through putting little bows all throughout your house. I always see this on Pinterest, and I think it's just so genius because it looks very festive, but it's so easy and inexpensive to do. You can get ribbon pretty, cheap from a craft store. You can even thrift and find, ribbon if you really find one that you like. That can be a great option. And you can just kind of stick bows on your already existing decor, so you don't have to necessarily replace it with a totally new Christmas themed, something you can just pop a bow on it, and it's just going to add that little touch. And that's something I've loved doing throughout my house. It's just so simple, kind of gives me a Victorian vibe. And something else I really like are finding Christmas plates. These were from the thrift store. I think I found these at Goodwill. And then the two little tap ones I actually found like super discounted at Michael's. And I just love the way that plates look hung on a wall. It's very cottagey, but it's also, again, like an inexpensive way to decorate, especially for Christmas if you can find or thrift or find an antique shop really cute Christmas plates. But I wanted to say that as much as I love decorating for Christmas, I enjoy it. But I also feel like it's such a fun thing for my kids to really create that vibe in our house, having the Christmas decor out. I can remember as a kid, even like I can conjure up in my memory certain decor items my mom would put out every single year. It's very nostalgic for me. But so much of, creating that cozy Christmas vibe in your house is not really about the actual stuff, and it's more about the things that you do, the environment that you create, and really the traditions that you set for your family. That's really what I think creates that lasting impact of, this is what we do at Christmas time. This is what we're all about. And that is what will become, or those things are what become the beautiful memories that your children not only will look back on, but will hopefully continue and carry on with their own families someday. One of the traditions we've started this year, actually, I really tried to start it last year and I just did not keep up with it. And that is having a Joshua tree. It's something that I have been trying to do with my kids each day to bring it all back to Jesus and to really help us center ourselves on the true reason for the season. Another one of our favorite traditions is picking out a Christmas tree every year. We go to the same little family-owned Christmas tree place, and they're just the sweetest family, the sweetest people, and it's something we look forward to and enjoy every year. We always go the day before Thanksgiving to pick out our tree, and it's just become something that we all really look forward to and have so much fun with every year. And then, of course, after we get our tree home, we get the lights on, it is time to decorate. And this is something I always really enjoy doing with my kids too. If you have toddlers in the house, then I'm sure they so love putting on the ornaments, and you're trying really hard not to let them break them, but you also want them to partake and, be involved and enjoy it too. And we always have, of course, like the bottom foot or so of our tree is always blank pretty much, so that I don't have, the baby pulling off ornaments. That's just, that's just a classic for this season of life that we are in. But this is always something that we so savor and look forward to as well, especially because Matt and I have a lot of the ornaments from our own childhood that we've, our parents have passed on to us and we've kept. And it's just so fun to, put those ornaments on the tree and think back on our own childhoods and our own, Christmases growing up in our houses, seeing like a baby's first Christmas in 1992 or 1990 up on the tree is just something that's pretty special, and it just feels like a full circle moment. So I always really love decorating the tree each year. And I would love it if you could share with me down in the comments below some of your most favorite, most cherished traditions. I would just absolutely love to hear about them because I love learning all about the other traditions people have within their homes. It just creates such that cozy, yummy vibe that I think we're all striving to create with our family. And I feel like the holiday season is always a time where we can really capitalize on it. So I would just love for all of you to share with me down below so we could just spread a little bit more joy. Another tradition that has kind of started since moving into this cottage is lighting fires in our cozy little wood stove. It has always been a dream of mine to have a wood stove in my house, but most especially have a fire going in our kitchen. This is technically in our dining room, but if you've seen any of my cottage videos, you know that this is right off of our kitchen. We actually opened up the walls between the kitchen and the dining room to make it one big space. And there's just nothing like sitting, cooking in the kitchen or sitting at the kitchen table and having a little fire roaring next to you. Just the smells alone are amazing. Speaking of smells, that's another way to really create that yummy Christmas vibe in your house. Bring that nostalgia into it. Smell is directly tied to our memories. The only way for us to access that part of our brain that stores memories is through our olfactory system. So smell is such a key player here. Now, I don't burn candles, but I do use oils. I always diffuse oils every single day, but I especially love it this time of year. Another thing I love doing is reading aloud to my kids, and this is something I do all year long, but I especially savor it at Christmas time. And I just wanted to show you guys this book. I tried to get it last year, but it was actually sold out. It is the cutest book that kind of draws comparisons between Santa Claus, but also Jesus. And it's just, again, kind of bringing it back to the reason of the season. And it's a really great book for little kids. So I wanted to share that with you guys. And lastly, this would not be something going down in my cottage without something in the kitchen. So spending time in the kitchen, again, is something we like to do all year, but certainly something we want to do at the holidays. And there's specific things that I like to do in the kitchen with my kids to celebrate this time of year. So first things first, we made an orange garland. And I never actually made them. I have made one before, but never actually with my kids. And I really wanted to do it with them this year because it's just such a fun and easy, kid-friendly project. And it fills your house with the smell of baking oranges, and it's just very festive. And it's fun to kind of string them all together. I did end up stringing this up on my little shelf in my kitchen, which I swapped out some of the decor that was on there just for some like plates and things with like a little pop of red to make it more festive. And I strung this garland up there, and I actually didn't really like the way that it looked, but it ended up working out because it totally fell. And just to be totally transparent, I still have yet to find a place to put this because every time I try and stick it on my garland, they like start to want to fall off. So I still need to find a special little home for this orange garland, which I will eventually, but that's just reality sometimes. Another thing, speaking of reality, another thing that has been on my list to make with my kids for a long time now is homemade marshmallows. It just sounded so fun to me, and we did it, and they smelled like marshmallows. They tasted like marshmallows. They didn't really look like marshmallows, but that's okay. I'll link the recipe down below that I used because I used one that didn't have any corn syrup. I actually used honey. The ingredients were wonderful, and I think my issue was that I beat the marshmallow like cream a little bit too long. I was just, in the kitchen with my kids, kind of got lost track of time. And all of a sudden I was like, ooh, that sounds a little bit different. And I think I just beat them too long. I don't know if anyone is a homemade marshmallow expert out there. You can maybe point me in the direction of where I went wrong. But basically the texture was just not right. But they still tasted really good. They were excellent in hot chocolate. And honestly, I felt like I just had to laugh. I was like, this is like the perfect metaphor for our holiday or Christmas expectations. You come in guns blazing, full of hope with stars in your eyes. You're like, we're going to make marshmallows. It's going to be great. It's going to turn out perfectly. And we're going to have these fluffy, perfect little squares to pop in our hot chocolate. It's going to be like so Pinterest fabulous. And then you end up with this and you're like, well, that's not what I intended. But really, that's not what it's about, right? The outcome is not exactly what matters. The fact is that we all gathered in the kitchen and my kids got to help me make them, and it was a good time, and they still tasted amazing because we did make hot chocolate and it was so good. And if you want to make hot chocolate yourself at home, skip the packets. Anytime I ever drink one of those packets, I immediately have an upset stomach. And if you ever looked at the ingredients, you'll know why. But all you need is to make this little pot, I did 3 cups of milk. I did a teaspoon of vanilla. I did a tablespoon of sugar, a half a teaspoon of cinnamon, 2 tablespoons of cocoa, and a little handful of chocolate chips. And you just mix it all together until it all melts down. Pour it in your mugs. Pop on one of your homemade marshmallows, even if they don't look like the real deal, and it will just be so fabulous and you will love it. It's so festive, it's so fun, and just a great way to cozy up and enjoy this Christmas season. I hope that you guys enjoyed watching this video. I am going to be taking a little holiday break here on my channel for the next couple of weeks, but I will be back in the new year with fresh content for you all. I am so excited to see you guys in a couple weeks. I hope you have the most wonderful Christmas and holiday holiday, whatever it is that you celebrate. And I will be sure to see you here in a little bit. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure to subscribe if you haven't, and I'll see you guys very soon.